Hello once again, welcome to another lesson. My name is Manchas Kazaba and I am the creator of the website pianokeyboardguide.com. This lesson is part of a series of lessons where we take a look at chords by key. What are the chords in the key of E major? First of all, you need to know the notes in the key of E major or the notes of the E major scale. There are 4 sharps in the key of E major. These sharps are F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. The notes of this key are E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp. Each chord in the key of E major is based on one of these notes. Roman numerals indicate each chord's position relative to the major scale. Chord 1 is based on the note E. Chord 2 is based on the note F sharp. Chord 3 is based on the note G sharp. Chord 4 is based on the note A. Chord 5 is based on the note B. Chord 6 is based on the note C sharp. And chord 7 is based on the note D sharp. Notice that chords 1, 4, and 5 are major chords, and the Roman numerals are capitalized. Chords 2, 3, and 6 are minor chords, and the Roman numerals are lowercase. Chord 7 is a diminished chord and is lowercase. Chords in a major key follow the pattern major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. The chords in the key of E major are E major, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A major, B major, C sharp minor, and D sharp diminished. Every one of these chords make use of the notes of the E major scale. When coming up with chords in a key, you may only include notes that are in that specific key. Triad chords in the key of E major. Chord 1, E major. Chord 2, F sharp minor. Chord 3, G sharp minor. Chord 4, A major. Chord 5, B major. Chord 6, C sharp minor. Chord 7, D sharp diminished. Let's try coming up with chords in the key of E major without depending on memorization of the chord pattern. We already know that the chords are either major, minor, or diminished. What chord is based on the note E? This one is quite obvious because we are in the key of E major. It has to be an E major chord. Furthermore, it cannot be a minor chord because the notes of the E minor chord are E, G, and B. And we know that G is not in the E major scale. Let's move to the note F sharp. What chord should we play? It cannot be F sharp major because the notes of the F sharp major chord are F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. Neither can it be F sharp diminished, because the notes of the F sharp diminished chord are F sharp, A, and C. It has to be F sharp minor, consisting of the notes F sharp, A, and C sharp, which are all in the E major scale. How about the note G sharp? Is the chord G sharp major, G sharp minor, G sharp diminished? It's clearly G sharp minor, consisting of the notes G sharp, B, and D sharp, which are all part of the E major scale. You can do this with any note in the scale to come up with chords in the key of E major. You can do this for the notes A, B, C sharp, and D sharp, and you will clearly see that the chords have to be none other than A major, B major, C sharp minor, and D sharp diminished, respectively. Another way to come up with chords by key is to first of all know what the scale is. Then form each chord by skipping a letter or note. For instance, you can start on E, skip F sharp, play G sharp, skip A, and play B, giving you E, G sharp, B. And this is an E major chord. You can start on B, skip C sharp, play D sharp, skip E, and play F sharp, giving you B, D sharp, F sharp. And this is a B major chord. You can add sevenths to each of these chords. Therefore, E major becomes E major seventh. F sharp minor becomes F sharp minor seventh. G sharp minor becomes G sharp minor seventh. A major becomes A major seventh. B major becomes B dominant seventh. C sharp minor becomes C sharp minor seventh. And D sharp diminished becomes D sharp minor seventh flat 5. The chord pattern for sevenths is major seventh, minor seventh, minor seventh, major seventh, dominant seventh, minor seventh, minor seventh, flat fifth. A minor seventh, flat fifth, or flat 5 chord is also called a half diminished seventh chord. Notice that for each seventh chord in the key of E, every note is part of the E major scale. 4 note extended chords in the key of E major. Chord 1, E major seventh. Chord 2, F sharp minor seventh. Chord 3, G sharp minor seventh. Chord 4, A major seventh. Chord 5, B dominant seventh. Chord 6, C sharp minor seventh. And chord 7, D sharp minor seventh flat 5. You can form 4 note extended chords in a key by skipping letters or notes. First of all, start by knowing your scale. All you have to do now is to skip a letter or note. You can start on F sharp, for instance, skip G sharp, play A, skip B, play C sharp, skip D sharp, and play E, giving you the notes F sharp, A, C sharp, E. And this is an F sharp minor 7th chord. What are the notes of each chord in the key of E major? Let's start with the triad chords, or the 3-note chords. The notes of chord 1, E major, are E, G sharp, B. The notes of chord 2, F sharp minor, are F sharp, A, C sharp. The notes of chord 3, G sharp minor, are G sharp, B, D sharp. The notes of chord 4, A major, are A, C sharp, E. The notes of chord 5, B major, are B, D sharp, F sharp. The notes of chord 6, C sharp minor, are C sharp, E, G sharp. The notes of chord 7, D sharp diminished, are D sharp, F sharp, A. What are the notes of each 4-note chord in the key of E major? The notes of chord 1, E major 7th, are E, G sharp, B, D sharp. The notes of chord 2, F sharp minor 7th, are F sharp, A, C sharp, E. The notes of chord 3, G sharp minor 7th, are G sharp, B, D sharp, F sharp. The notes of chord 4, A major 7th, are A, C sharp, E, G sharp. The notes of chord 5, B dominant 7th, are B, D sharp, F sharp, A. The notes of chord 6, C sharp minor 7th, are C sharp, E, G sharp, B. The notes of chord 7, D sharp minor 7 flat 5, are D sharp, F sharp, A, C sharp. Here is a diagram of the E major scale on the treble and bass clefs. It also shows the E major key signature. There are 4 sharps in the key of E major, namely F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. On piano or keyboard, you play 4 black keys. Common chord progressions in the key of E major. Here are some common chord progressions that you can form with some of these chords. The 1-4-5 chord progression. The chords are E major, A major, B major. The 1-6-4-5 chord progression. The chords are E major, C sharp minor, A major, B major. The 2-5-1 chord progression, which is very popular in jazz music. The chords are F sharp minor 7th, B dominant 7th, E major 7th. You may experiment and come up with your own chord progressions. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Manchas Kazaba and I am the creator of the website pianokeyboardguide.com. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. Be sure to check out my books at amazon.com and my courses at udemy.com. They will help you take your piano playing to the next level. Manchas Kazaba, thank you very much. All the best. pianokeyboardguide.com